just not enough, not enough, not enough. I'm tired of hearing that I'm not enough. It's been a quick minute. If you're listening, rate, share, subscribe, all that. If you are listening, you could also watch on Big Mood TV. That is on YouTube, Big Mood TV. But we want to connect with you. I will address that we have not been very consistent. We've been putting. It doesn't seem like we've been that inconsistent. We've gone like a few weeks in between without recording, but still every other week. We're not like taking months off, But the reason for that is you got to live life and you got to get inspired. Ooh, that's my throat. You got to get inspired, You got to be inspired by life, and I'm in this weird transition where it's like, like next week, like this week coming up, I was in the Coachella Valley on Saturday, and then my son swallowed a battery, so I'm from the Coachella Valley to Loma Linda all day, back to San Diego Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, tomorrow to Austin. I fly back from Austin on Tuesday, literally the same day Tuesday, I hop on a plane to Sacramento until Wednesday, just quick turnaround Wednesday. Then I'm back in San Diego, and then I'm on a 3-day training Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So just going. That's why we haven't been consistent with the podcast, just because it's been just going, which is a good thing. It's busy's good. But I wasn't, and if this podcast would just be an honest one, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't doing well. I was not doing well, and had a bit of a mental breakdown at that leadership program that I was doing. The owner of that company, spoke to me more recently. He talked to, I have a one of my character defects is that I care what people think about me, the optics. What is it? Hold on a second. We can keep this in, but Matt, is that camera crooked? It looks crooked on the stand. No, it's not crooked. Cool. But I care about the optics, right? Like, I care about being on brand, and I care about being on brand all the time. And I think I'm pretty vulnerable on this podcast, especially. I speak about being bipolar, I speak about suicidality, I speak about sexual trauma, sex addiction. I don't know what I haven't spoken about, but it's easy to do hiding behind a microphone. It's easy to hide behind a microphone, but when I have to play with others, I have a real hard time interacting with others around me. I have a really, really, really hard time interacting with people around me. Very codependent. I'm doing the steps in the codependency program, and my attachment to people is just, it's just so screwed up, and then being in a relationship for 6 years where everything I do is wrong. Me as a person feels wrong. I was singing the other day, if you're ashamed about your sex life and your sexual activity, clap your hands. Like, I have so much shame around sex and so much anxiety around the male-female interaction. It's just so stressful. So stressful. To the point where I'm not sexually active, nor am I dating. Not available. I am not available. Until, and I will say this, and this doesn't mean I'm open to meeting someone. I don't know what this means, but it means that when it's the perfectly right person in the perfectly right time for me to be available, I will be. But yeah, I'm not available to myself. Not available to myself. I don't remember the last time I didn't have a shameful or regretful sexual experience. I don't remember the last time. even in my relationship as well. I don't remember having positive sexual experiences. They turned into something else, you know. And then before that, everything was adultery. And then before that, everything was adultery and drug induced and sex addiction induced. And then all through my teens was the same. And then molestation as a child. So it's been 30 years of destructive or unhealthy sexual relationship. I don't know, what is it like. That's why I don't have sex with anybody. Don't even want to. I'm not even interested. You know, I have opportunity to. You know, it just doesn't seem appealing, you know. You know, and that's the stuff that you're working through, you know. But I had a difficult weekend a few weekends ago. I just wasn't taking care of myself, you know. Didn't meditate today, which I don't feel great about. It's probably why I'm so frustrated today. You know, I always feel uncomfortable when I don't meditate. Can we get some music going? Yeah, I always feel uncomfortable when I don't meditate, and I'm particularly grumpy. But yeah, we got to take care of ourselves, you know. And I haven't been taking care of myself. You know, I've been pretty sad, actually. You know, yeah. I just want to. I want to connect with people. You know, a friend of mine was in my room. You know, Steven was in my room and was like, "Did you know all the art on your wall are pictures of people? And all the art on my wall is pictures of people." And I would think, like, why do I want people all over my wall? You know, I so badly want to connect. That's why I say in the beginning of the podcast, we want to connect with you. That's all I've ever desperately wanted. I wanted to feel understood. I want to feel right. I want to feel accepted. I want to feel like I'm just the right amount of me, but I still don't feel that. It don't feel good, man. It don't feel good. And if you feel like that too, I know you feel like that too, man. Not all the time, and I don't feel like this all the time. Clearly, if you listen to the podcast, it's not always like this, but sometimes it is like this. And what you learn is this seasons change, mad things rearrange. Shout out to Lauryn Hill. You know, seasons change, and this is just a season I'm in. It's just, you know, my world has been turned upside down, doing the work that I've been doing. You know, my lack of intimacy. And this podcast gives me a great illusion of intimacy because Matt knows everything about me. And I feel like I'm doing it on a microphone. So, like, clearly I'm not afraid to be intimate, you know. But the reason my son's mom and I didn't work out is because I was never be able to be intimate with her in the way that she needed. You know, I lack intimacy. But I want it so bad. Why? I don't know. We're interesting beings. You know, I was working on my coda steps, and I'm a little embarrassed about this, but let me run down the list of things that I've experienced that make me who I am. And I got to give myself a little leeway. So, sexual trauma, racial trauma, my dad wasn't around, full-blown drug addiction, racial trauma during that drug addiction, violence upon violence upon violence, hospitals, jails, psych wards, and then sober, sex addiction, bipolar disorder, you know, borderline personality disorder. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, you know, fuck, man, it's embarrassing. It's like, why did I get hit with everything? But the TED Talk I'm working on, I'm going to talk about suffering. And I think I've made a ton of progress with my suffering. I think I've done wonders with the hand I was dealt. And it's not a matter of my parents. It's not a matter of, like, you know, I don't blame anybody. It's just the experience that I was meant to have. But it has been it has been challenging, and it is challenging. You know, that's why I started the company and do the work that I do. You know, sometimes I feel like a failure there. You know, I'm just down. I'm just down. You know, just down. But it always gets better. It always gets better. This isn't forever. This is not forever. It always gets better. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about this being the permanence, you know. And that's one thing doing the Coda steps is that I released myself from outcomes. I used to be real obsessed with outcomes, you know. I used to want to control a situation so the outcome was a way that favored me, you know. And people talk about God's will. God's will is going to be God's will or not. It's going to be, things are going to happen the way they're going to happen, whether you want them to or not, which sucks, but it's the way it is. And it's now time to accept that things work out the way they are. Being alone, I got to accept that I'm meant to be alone right now. I'm meant to be alone right now. My son's mom and I could probably be together. Probably could be. But then I feel like I would go back to feeling like I'm not enough. I'm never doing enough. I don't, I'm not taking care of my son enough. I don't spend enough time. It's just not enough. I'm tired of hearing that I'm not enough. Shit doesn't feel good. So we choose comfort over character building, and I'm choosing character building. I want to believe that I am enough. So yeah, man. Choose comfort over character building. Let me sip this water and let this bitch breathe. So let's talk about this leadership program I've been doing, and the breakdown that I had. Not only was I not taking care of myself, this is where I realized the emotional unavailability and the way the subconscious grasped and internalized what I was experiencing. Because it was a very intense weekend where I got a lot of feedback. I got a lot of people's experience of me. And, someone said I was a walking fuck you. Which part of me likes. Everybody says fuck me, so I'm a walking fuck you. I get a lot of fuck yous in this life. I get a lot of fuck yous. A lot, man. So you know what? Part of my defense mechanism is to be a walking fuck you to the world around me, But yeah, got a lot of feedback and it was intense, It was intense, and it was it was intense. I couldn't handle it, and I handled it in the moment, and how I handled it in the moment was smiling, because I'm not emotionally available. I deflect with humor. I deflect with my smile. Deflect with my smile and laugh it off. But at the end of the night, it hit me, and I don't have outbursts, but I have internal paralysis and rumination and obsession of thoughts. I still get that thought that nobody wants you here. I'm supposed to be self-help guy. I'm supposed to be the guy saving people's lives, you know? I'm supposed to be the guy working with sponsees, saving sponsees, helping people in their recovery. I'm supposed to be that guy. I'm supposed to be that guy. And my mind still tells me that no one wants me here, that I'm better off gone. It's crazy. It's crazy, you know? And I internalized all those things that I heard, and I was overwhelmed. You know? So for someone who does a podcast, so much of what I feel is to hide. You know? So if you feel like that, I know a lot of people do feel like that. You know, on this podcast we'll do the joy. We'll do the joy. We've done a lot of podcasts on joy, haven't we? We've done a lot of podcasts with positive messages. The last the last podcast we released was about holding each other high and friendship and overcoming and you know, doing podcasts with Steven were funny and you know, the guests we've had on have been inspirational stories. But you know, today it's not about that. Today's about exactly where I am in this moment and where I have been the past couple weeks. And I have not been okay. I have not been okay. You know. How much time we got? 20? But we're going to end it. We're going to end it on a positive note. Something I've learned, you know, people ask me like, not people ask me, but people when I have episodes, because I still, like I said, I still have episodes. I'm not completely healed. I don't think I ever will be. But people ask me, you know, how do you get through it? It'll always be okay. It will always be okay. You're struggling with money, it'll be okay. Jehovah Jireh, God who provides. You're struggling in your business, keep going. You're struggling in a relationship, make a decision. Either be in it or be out of it. You're struggling with your body like I am. I'm struggling with my weight loss. I've lost 35 pounds. I can't break through it. You're struggling, it's okay. Accept it and keep at it. Struggling, you know, being creative. Take some time to embrace the world. That's what I've been doing. Been living life. You know, and embracing the world. And you know, I'm a visionary person, you know, and I expressed, you know, wrote down my vision for the next 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. Well, I say 8 because it's closer. It's not 9. 8 months and then a year. I have vision written down quarterly. You know, even when you're not creative, you gotta be striving for moving forward. Keep moving forward. So I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna record a podcast next week because I will be in Sacramento. But what we will be doing, and Matt and I will make this commitment, what we'll be doing, we'll be re-releasing podcasts that were missed last year because we didn't have the following that we do now. You know, our podcast is growing and continues to grow as long as we put out content. So in order to stay consistent, we recorded 4,000 minutes of content last year. So we have unreleased podcasts. We have great podcasts that haven't been seen or just didn't get views or listens because nobody knew they were out, you know, and now we could let those out. So on weeks where we can't record, you'll get a throwback. So this week, actually last week, you'll have gotten a throwback because this is coming out, you know, but last week you'll have gotten a throwback from one of my favorite podcasts that happened during the Black Lives Matter movement with a number of men, just having a conversation. just having a conversation. It was a big 5-6 person podcast. It was pretty cool. No arguing, no yelling over each other, just conversation. So yeah, if you're listening, rate, subscribe, share, really share it. We want to connect with you. And if you're listening, hi Tina, clickety clack, clack, clack. If you're listening and you want to watch, go to Big Moo TV. We have a fully built out YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is clean as fuck. Like I was talking to somebody about it. Just create for the sake of creating. Like, don't be married to the outcome, and just do it, because someone's gonna stumble upon it, and they're gonna be like, oh fuck, it's like legit. It's not one of those. It's not like a weirdo YouTube channel. It's a legit channel. And when the time comes, who knows? It may be at like our 500th episode. We just have like a huge flux of people who listen, and then go back and listen from the beginning. Listen to how bad we were in the beginning. But yeah, man, can't be doing well all the time. Even the motivator needs to feel like shit, and I feel like shit today. So, but there's hope. You just keep moving forward. Always keep moving forward. So we're out of here. Thanks. Peace.